Hi, this is Dr. Rao, and I wanted to talk to you about a very important word. It fits in pretty well in the needs analysis stage and can be used throughout the instructional design and development paradigm of ADDIE: analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. The term, pardon me, is stakeholder. And I looked up the etymology of stakeholder, and it didn't give me a lot of extra information, and so I'll just share with you my personal etymology of the word stakeholder. I grew up in Texas, actually. I was going to say in the western part of the United States, so it's in the southwestern part. And to me, stakeholder has a very, I'm looking at the microphone here, get it adjusted. Okay, stakeholder has a very a special meaning. Much of the western part of the United States in the early days of the country was populated through land grants, in that the various huge parcels of land were opened up to the public, and there were actually land rushes. People would go out, and the way that they claimed this free land, of course they had to live on it and work the land, farm the land, to actually keep it. But to first of all claim it, to lay their claim, they would go out and actually stake a claim. They would go out with a wooden stake, and they would drive a stake in the ground, claiming a certain portion of the land. And so to me, when I think of stakeholder, I think of somebody who has a valid claim, who has staked their claim, has a valid claim to interest in, well, in the original sense, in land, but in your case, in something that's going on within or around about an organization. So as you think about your project and developing a learning opportunity and educational intervention, whatever your team calls it, as you think about developing something like that, since there are human beings involved and quite often, in most cases, organizations involved, there are people who have an interest. And they may not be the primary administrators involved or teachers, but for some reason or another they have an interest in what's going on. So it's very, very important in the early phases of your needs analysis to identify the major stakeholders, because sometimes it's very clear. Obviously, a teacher is a stakeholder in the interest of the students in that class. And the principal of the school would be a stakeholder in the interest of what happens and what comes out. But then there may be other stakeholders that are not part of the organization. For example, parents are very important stakeholders in any educational endeavor in the public school system. And parents can get very interested, very concerned about what's going on with a project. And if they get very interested and concerned about what's going on with your project, that could significantly impact your project for better or for worse. So anyhow, I hope that gives you a little bit better idea of the term stakeholder and how to think about individuals who might be very important to your project and who might have something to say about it. So anyhow, that's the term for today, stakeholders. Okay, bye-bye.